The lady babayega, or my bad, the kikimora is definitely a badass. And Anna de Armas, you know I have a crush on you, but you did a kick-ass job for this movie. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Buddies in Blockbuster. I'm your host, AJ, and we're here to review Ballerina from the world of John Wick. Or is it from the world of John Wick, Ballerina? Either way, we have an action-packed performance across the board. So for the folks who don't know, I'm definitely a huge John Wick fan. I love the franchise. Of course, the first part is still the goated one in my mind. And as the series prolonged, the action is redefining the word action. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. So I just love that series, and who doesn't love Keanu, right? So this is kind of a spin-off movie which takes place in between John Wick chapter 3 and 4. It's basically in between that. And my initial reaction, to be told, guys, just like the John Wick action-packed performance that you are used to, is basically the same thing that you get here, but with a new character and the arc and path of this individual, which is kind of way different compared to John Wick, who is the Baba Yaga. That's the one thing that I loved, and I really appreciate what this movie did is keeping that distinction between John Wick, because he's the god, he's the legend. The last thing I wanted is this movie coming up and basically having Eve, played by Ana de Armas, coming in and being the next, Baba Yaga and stuff like that. They didn't do that. They clearly had a gap in terms of where she is and where he is kept. The whole movie is kind of maintained in that flow, and that's something that I really appreciate, mainly because you've got to always acknowledge and respect why this spinoff is there, mainly because of John Wick, right? So, in terms of performances, you all know Anna did a kick-ass job in the Bond movie, right? For the folks who have not seen her, that would have sparked the reason on why she got this role, because she is a badass. She goes above and beyond in this movie, whether it's all the actions, the stunts, her emotion. I think that's the soul of the movie, because if you're looking for a next level, storyline, or this is going to blow your mind with the action performance, which is definitely eye-opening, and it's like, oh, you're going to have those John Wick type of moments here. But I liked the character arc of Eve, what she brought to the table, the way how she's looped into this ballerina kind of component. And there's definitely a lot of similarities on kind of paying homage to the John Wick series, but she brings her own taste. And now keep in mind, if you look at her, she's shorter, she's a bit small, and they acknowledge that in the movie. And that's perfect, because the last thing you want is somebody to immediately be a badass on day one. No, she needs to go through her own battles, needs to figure out how she can eliminate her enemies with her strengths, because it's not power, it's not whatever John Wick does. She needs to figure out her advantages and basically get the job done. And that was done in the most perfect way possible. That training montage that they showcased at the first 20 to 30 minutes, I loved it. The other standouts is definitely the action sequence and the stunts. My God, there was one thing that happens, and I'm not trying to spoil it. You will know what this is about once you watch it. There is this fight sequence where she starts using, grenades and bombs and stuff like that. And it was just next level. I'm not seeing that before. There's a lot of folks coming in, and the fact that she just used bombs during that whole sequence to protect herself, next level. And yes, there is a bit of gore, there's a lot of bloody scenes, which is kind of expected of this franchise if you look at it. And yes, of course, we do have a couple of cameos of the one and only Baba Yaga. I like the way how they utilized him with his presence. Whenever he's on screen, it's like, oh God, he's here, right? You get kind of a glimpse of his action sequence and stuff. That's just a tiny bit at the climax at the end. I wouldn't have wanted that, to be honest, because you got to keep the focus on Eve and her story. But overall, the storyline to me was just predictable. I know where this is going. She definitely did a lot of bold components to take things on her own, not being prepared in a couple of things, and just wing it. It's a revenge tale for her specific story, which is related to a family. I don't want to spoil what that is, but you will get it as and when the movie prolongs. So because of that, it's not kind of a mind-blowing and next level movie that you're not seeing. But if you're an action fan and you love the series, plus you love Anna, you're just gonna enjoy and have a good time with this movie. It was really good to see Lance Reddick. I believe this was shot before he passed away. I just love the fact that they were able to keep that character and it resembles a lot. So that was good to see. The entire cast did a great job. But is it like better than the John Wick franchise? I don't think so, because as and when Keanu came and he started doing his stunts, I was more connected to his and it was more believable. Because the one maybe drawback, I don't know if it's a drawback, I know you've got to have conveniences for this franchise in general, but I feel there was too much, and sometimes you just got to close your eyes and just wing it, especially the climax scene. It's like, we know you're little and you're taking a lot on your plate. That was a bit more dragged as well. It kind of started to get, okay, this is going into the Fast and Furious franchise. I mean, like, let's tone it back. But I still had fun, mainly because of the action sequences resemble the John Wick franchise, right? And the fact that Anna has put in the effort. You could tell that she's worked hard for this movie, and it showcases throughout the whole piece. So I believe it's a good addition. And if you're a true John Wick fan, as well as you love the franchise, plus if you love action, you're going to get a whole lot of it here. But do not expect too much on the storyline, because it's predictable and you know how it's going to end for the most part. So for the folks who watched Ballerina, what did you guys think? And where do you rank Ballerina in the John Wick franchise? Is this better than a couple of other chapters from the John Wick series? Put it in the comments. And as always, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and share.